Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Okay, Dakey, it's time for the second round of our games. Of our football games today. Cardiff City. As they take on Man City. And a 4 o'clock game, 10 minutes till kick-off there. And if you've missed it, we had our first fixture plans, which was, of course, Chelsea as they took on Newcastle 3-0 to Chelsea yesterday. Which was all good. Okay, here we go. If you want to place a bet for Cardiff and City and Man City, these are all the bets you need. For home win for Cardiff City to win at 12-1, for the draw 6-1, and for Man City to win 2-9. Raheem Sterling to score at any time. The boosts are on, was 5-6, now 1-1. Zayn will score first 12-1 now, was 10-1. Cardiff City to win 1-0 was 4-1, now it's 50-1. And Man City to win 3-0, 7-1 was now 8-1. Which is all good. Okay, so let's play a song then for the first time. Amy Winehouse and Valerie here on SJ Radio. Enjoy, why don't ya? Well, sometimes I go out in a look And should have figured out now before that Amy Winehouse very reggae remix. Just for the kick-off, Cardiff City take on Man City on the 4 o'clock kickoffs. Teams out, Cardiff City lead. Chelsea and Man City following just behind them. Session Radio's 4th round FA Cup fixtures across every game. Every single goal that goes into the back of the net, you'll hear about it here. We've got the quarterfinals of the 5th round coming up as well the next couple of weeks. That's something you want to keep hold of as well. And to make it even more interesting for yourself, we've got full coverage of the FA Cup as well, haven't we? Oh yeah. Welcome July the 15th, all kicks off. But first, let's just concentrate on the here and now, shall we? Let's get underway. It's Cardiff City, Man City, unbeaten in 15 consecutive games in all competitions. Cardiff, on the other hand, keep conceding, don't they? Let's find out what way this play's going to plan out.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
And Neil Warnock, who of course has had such a life in football. This is his 38th season in football management. Neil Warnock paid tribute to both of them, Jimmy Armfield and Patrick Crine, in today's match programme. And he says that Jimmy Armfield was football mad and wanted to talk to you about it whenever you saw him. And Jimmy used to love the FA Cup, right back to the Matthews final with Blackpool, and great tributes paid to him at all of the FA Cup matches that have been staged this weekend. So the match begins. Cardiff City against Manchester City. Steve Claridge is with us, who played in over 1,000 matches. You must have played in dozens and dozens of FA Cup ties over the years, Steve. And here we have a Giants against underdogs, even if it is Championship against Premier League scenario.
Yeah, as I said before, I think what you have got here is people have come here, you know, knowing that if they're going to be back in Cardiff City, they've got a good side. They've got a side that hopefully can do them proud and put on a performance and actually, test Manchester City, which I'm sure after the 2 games against Bristol City, they'll feel that they're capable of doing.
So the Cardiff City team, Neil Etheridge plays in goal. The back four of Richards, Morrison, Ekele Manga and Bennett. Sol Bamba ruled out because of a knock. So Sol Bamba, the Ivory Coast international, not involved today. That is a blow. In midfield, Joe Rawls and Marco Grujic on loan from Liverpool. It's only his second appearance. Callum Patterson also comes into the midfield. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang and Junior Hoylett playing wide. And Kenneth Zohore is the central striker as Joe Bennett just clears the ball away downfield for the Bluebirds of Cardiff. And Manchester City in their pinky purpley away kit with the white trim. A strong team. Claudio Bravo in goal, but a back four of Walker, Kompany, Otamendi and Danilo. In midfield, Fernandinho, De Bruyne and Gundogan, and then Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling playing as the most forward player. But it is City who are playing from right to left in this first half. Manchester City who are in possession, and the ball played all the way back to Fernandinho, one of the number of Manchester City players who've recently signed a contract extension, Fernandinho, but his forward pass is intercepted. And now a first burst forward by Cardiff City, and that's impressive on the right hand side from Mendez-Lang, who's able to get a cross over to the edge of the area, who's looking for Hoylett on the edge of the box, but Walker defended it well.
Good shot, could have gone straight for goal there. Absolutely, as he's knocked it past, he's got 2 yards in front. It's a great opportunity just to get in on goal and either commit the keeper and pull it back or shoot. And I think, to be fair, he takes that option of crossing the ball far too early. He can go into the space and commit the keeper or commit someone in front of him and literally just pick someone out, but he doesn't. He puts it into an area rather than getting his head up and picking a teammate out.
Nathaniel Mendez-Lang, free transfer from Rochdale last summer. That's the way that Neil Warnock's played it. Actually, Sol Bamba and Junior Hoylett were 2 of his first signings, and when he knew that they were going to be available, he said, hang on, and you'll join me at Cardiff. And that's what's happened, and both of them, Hoylett and Bamba, have done extremely well. Hoylett's actually the top scorer for Cardiff this season, 8 goals in all competitions. But Fernandinho coming forward for Manchester City. That's a beautifully judged ball out to the right hand side to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne plays it across, and there's a little flick goalwards by Bernardo Silva, but it was tame really in the end, and it just dropped into the arms of Neil Etheridge, the goalkeeper.
I don't quite know what he was doing there. Do you? I mean, it was a flick. when all it needed was a touch and a turn and a finish, or a turn and a cross, and he's just flicked it up and flicked it straight into the keeper's hands, which was a rather strange choice considering he's in such a good position.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether he was actually trying to shoot or whether he was meaning just to get a touch across the area.
No, well, either way, it didn't quite pan out the way you imagined.
It didn't. Steve Claridge with us. Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 0. This is BBC 5 Live. This is the 8th and final one of our commentaries from the FA Cup 4th round this weekend, but we will have the replays the week after next. And Andy Gillis, our producer, is just pointing out onto the field, and now I see there is an enormous white inflatable football that has either been thrown or drifted onto the pitch, and Vincent Kompany has kicked it to Claudio Bravo, who is booed because he's picked it up, run off the pitch and put it behind the advertising hoardings.
I've never seen Andy so animated, never seen him so excited, actually, I've got to say. Anyway, we're done anyway. Well, it's off.
As Liverpool know,
we're not having Liverpool
to their cost, those sort of things can ultimately be calamitous. So Manchester City and Claudio Bravo has made sure that it isn't for them. Cardiff 0, Manchester City 0. And Manchester City with the ball halfway inside their own half with Otamendi, and back it goes to the edge of the area to Claudio Bravo. So Aguero's on the substitutes bench today, hence the fact that Raheem Sterling is playing in the position that he is, and David Silva not involved in the 18 today, but strong Manchester City team, and this is good from them down the left hand side. The ball is crossed by Danilo. That's a nice touch from Gundogan, who shoots straight at Etheridge, who's able to make the block. Ball partly cleared, but only out to Gundogan, who's challenged by Rolls on the edge of the area. It's a foul, it's a free kick, just a yard outside the box. Just as Gundogan was looking to shoot, Rolls leapt in front of him and caught him.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move, a sweeping move down the left-hand side. Gundogan actually has a really good first touch, hits it. It's a good save from the keeper, comes back out to him, and as his first touch just gets him a yard. Rolls actually puts his foot in front of Gundogan as he goes to make the shot, and he kicks the bottom of Rolls' foot there,
which can be nasty, that, can't it?
It can. It's sort of, I mean, you're sort of half turning your ankle as you're doing it at full force, and you're not prepared because you don't actually see the challenge coming, so you're doing it at full force. If you see it coming, you can somewhat temper the shot, so to speak. But magnificent move from Man City. They are really playing with a false number 9. Sterling's playing on the right now, Sané on the left, and you have 3 different players who are prepared to take up those central roles, and Gundogan is being one of them.
Gundogan still receiving treatment on the ground. Manchester City players gathered around. Pep Guardiola immediately sent Sergio Aguero out to get warmed up, and obviously with Gundogan's recent injury problems, the knee injury that kept him out for months and months and months, there is quite some concern over how he is.
Yeah, it looked a nasty one. He's actually old, and I think he's holding his ankle. He's holding his ankle. I thought it was his ankle, actually. Yeah. So I think looking at him now, I think there are fairly positive signs that it's going to be a big deep breath, and up he gets, and should be okay.
Yeah, he will be led off the field, but he's on his feet, moving rather gingerly. But a free kick in this position, is this certainly De Bruyne? You would think so. He's the man who's pacing it out. It's actually not too far away from the position that he scored that great free kick against Barcelona in the Champions League at the Etihad Stadium last season. But it is quite close, so it's the old question over whether he can get it over the wall and down. Shoots low in, under the wall, just inside the foot of the post. Very clever from Kevin De Bruyne. Cardiff caught out, the wall jumped, the ball went under them, into the net, and Manchester City in front in the 8th minute, 1-0.
You said it, he is a clever footballer, isn't he? The way that he plays the game, everything, the way he thinks about the game, the passes that he makes are fantastic, the vision that he has, but that is just what he's done there is absolutely fantastic, simply because he knows they're going to jump. I don't think they need to jump at that range. If he can get that up and over from there, you've just got to say that is brilliant. When you're doing that, and you've got someone who, as you say, has got the foresight and the intelligence to look at that. I mean, he's literally just rolled it in, hasn't he?
He has passed it.
He's just rolled that. I mean, he's barely got enough pace on it to go into the goal, but he's actually passed it right in the corner as well. He hasn't passed it sort of into the side, it's sort of just inside the post. So he's done that with a bit of quality as well.
I mean, goalkeeper Etheridge, from his view, was standing over towards the left side,
which is his side, which is
yeah,
so you don't want to be
right.
beaten on that side as a keeper, but if he dinks it over the top of the wall from just over 18 yards, you go fine. They can't do anything about that.
So it's Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 1, and the Premier League leaders, the team chasing success on 4 fronts, are already ahead. And if Kevin De Bruyne could have, we'll come back to that, because De Bruyne's just got a heavy touch there as he received the ball from Sterling, and Cardiff City are back in possession. But if he could have designed how that worked for him, that free kick, with what he intended to do, shoot under the wall, he couldn't have designed it any better than it turned out.
No, I mean he's got his eye in as well, hasn't he? It's still not an easy, you still got to get that and keep it low and under the wall and in the right target sort of area, which he does brilliantly, and every one of them jumped.
Yeah,
every one of the wall jumps. You could have put it under anybody's feet. Can't blame anyone for that, because they've already been told to jump. Every one of them jumped. He could have put it anywhere he liked there, but he's picked right in the corner spot.
Zaha is caught offside, so it's a free kick to Manchester City. Gundogan's back on the field, by the way. Looks as though he's going to be okay to carry on. But it did, Steve, you absolutely called it. It rolled into the net. It bounced all the way along the surface of the Cardiff City pitch into the bottom corner, just inside the foot of the post. So that's double figures now for Kevin De Bruyne. It's his second goal of the week, after he scored the goal that ultimately won the second leg against Bristol City on Tuesday night over at Ashton Gate. So into double figures, and further enhancing his status as one of the best around at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a few of the Cardiff players, and already they don't want to chase this game. They know, they've got to stay in the game. Cannot chase it. You can't go a second goal down, because the game will probably be over. What they need to do, stay in the game and then wait for that opportunity.
Oh, lovely slick stuff from Manchester City. Walker now crossing from the right after De Bruyne returned the ball to him down the right wing, and then Zaha is pulled up for a foul on Vincent Kompany. Just leaned into him as Kompany challenged. It was a foul. It's a free kick.
You can look at Zaha's face there, and it's that look of absolute guilt, wasn't it? I think just a little nudge. That was all it was. Just as the ball was going to be met by Kompany, the bounce, just give him a little nudge in the back, and puts Kompany off.
So Manchester City are in front. Chelsea are already through, and here come Manchester City again with the ball on the right hand side, which is pulled back by Walker, but he hit the first man, hit the first defender when there were purple shirts available inside the penalty area.
Yeah, he's really frustrated with himself there. I mean, as he's played almost before he's played, he's hit himself and given himself a slap because he knows it's the wrong ball. He's got time, he's got space. He really does need to find a man there and pick someone out, but he does neither. As you say, his frustration shows, because he's sort of really gives himself a bit of a thigh slap to say, I should have done better.
Yeah, Chelsea already through after their very comfortable 3-0 win against Newcastle. A couple of goals from Batshuayi, one from Marcus Alonso. So the Newcastle United supporters will be heading home again. Yet another season of FA Cup disappointment for them. And in the Premiership in Scotland, in today's one match, Rangers won 2-1 against Ross County in the 2 o'clock kickoff. And if you are a Newcastle supporter and you need to talk about it, we will have a 606 before you get home with Kelly Cates and Ian Wright.
Sound like an agony, aren't they, if you need to talk about it?
I do need to talk about it, listeners. Yeah. Manchester City coming forward. Here's Fernandinho. De Bruyne is challenged and by Jazz Richards. And the ball bounces away, but Manchester City are back in possession again with Bernardo Silva, who plays it out towards the right-hand side to Walker. Walker now approaching the corner of the penalty area. He is...
got to keep the ball better, Cardiff. Every time and you can hear already, the fans, every time they've received the ball, got it back, they've worked so hard to get it back. Giving it immediately, they've given it away again. You've got to be prepared to be brave and get the ball and at some stage get a grasp in the game, get a foothold in the game, pass the ball, not in the wrong areas, but pass the ball and release a bit of pressure. Every time they've got it so far, they've just given it away cheaply.
And it just happened again. The ball given away to Manchester City, and now Manchester City on the move, but misplaced pass in centre field by Gundogan means that Patterson can bring it forward towards the halfway line. Grujic, I beg his pardon, but he loses possession. and Manchester City coming forward with De Bruyne. De Bruyne now to Danilo, who cuts inside and was caught by Morrison. He was sent tumbling, and it's a free kick to Manchester City in another good position. Just a probably best part of 10 yards further out from where De Bruyne scored the opening goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably lucky to get away with that one, Morrison there. This is another 5-6 yards out, and it's a slightly different angle for him. And I don't think this will be going under the wall, let's put it that way. I think this one's going to be one of those that's going to be whipped in, hard and fast and over and round.
Well, as Jimmy Armfield would have said, we're right behind this, and De Bruyne curls it in, and it comes off the head of Rawls, bounces across the penalty area, and then Cardiff can't keep it in. It was sliced out of play by Richards. It's a corner.
Yeah, he had about 4 opportunities there. He had 2 chances to head it away, 2 opportunities to half volley it and volley it away, and missed all 4 of them.
Sané is going to take the corner from the left-hand side. First corner of the match. Here is the delivery to the near post where it is headed up and over by Gundogan, and it's a goal kick to Cardiff City, with Manchester City leading by 1-0.
Yeah, got to say, it's been comfortable so far. They've done everything that the manager would have wanted. They've quietened the atmosphere down a little bit. Already there are question marks being cast around the stadium as to whether Cardiff are good enough to get back into this game, whether they can stay in this game for that matter. And I'm sure that's what Neil Warnock will be saying. Calm it down, get hold of the ball, get a grip in the game, and then let's just wait. There will be an opportunity. There will be an opportunity. If we are still in the game when we have that, who knows?
As Hoylett tries a shot, and Bravo fumbled it. It looked over his head, and he was able to recover and grab the ball on the line.
Very, very lucky there. Very lucky. It's a strike that he should really be taking quite comfortably. He's almost got 2 softer hands there as he's taken it, and it's gone away, just slightly away from him, but he's able to fall back on it and just about stop that from going over the line. And you could see quite clearly it hadn't crossed the line.
No, it was a snapshot, wasn't it, on the volley from Hoylett from 22, 23 yards, more or less straight at Claudio Bravo. But as I say, just caught him out. There was a little fumble, and he was lucky that he was able to react quickly enough to grab it as it dropped towards the goal and stop it either on the line or just ahead of the line.
So it lax, wasn't he there?
Just a little bit
too easy.
Yeah. So it remains 1-0 to Manchester City. And here now on the right-hand side is Nathaniel Mendez-Lang, who had 2 Manchester City players on him, Sané and Danilo. Danilo put in the challenge, out of play. It's a throw-in to Cardiff. Lee Mason, the referee, just indicates where he wants Cardiff to take the throw from.
It's not going to take a lot to get this one going, is it?
No.
Certainly, you see the crowd already.
That's how it is in Cardiff.
Yep, it's not going to take an awful lot to get these people.
That's how it used to
out
be
of their seats. Yeah,
at Ninian Park when you played there.
Blimey.
Patterson's going to take the throw for Cardiff, just down in front of us. Here it goes, high into the area. Morrison with a flick. It's nodded across by Zohore. It's hooked back in. Zohore hits it back. Morrison couldn't get the shot in. Challenge on the edge of the penalty area, which runs away from Grujic, and actually Manchester City are now on the counter-attack. Watch out, Cardiff. Sané running free, but actually running into trouble. The challenge that comes in on him, which has actually resulted in a free kick against Manchester City for a foul by Sané on Patterson.
Totally wrong. Yeah, it is a foul on Sané, no doubt about that. He's got. That's why you've got 3 or 4 Man City players remonstrating. Look at the manager going absolutely ballistic. He's got that wrong, Lee Mason. He clearly has.
Yeah, with the 4th official, and I can tell you that we are now being joined by the BBC's World Service. Steve, all of those millions of listeners all around the planet joining us on 5 Live, where Manchester City already lead through a clever free kick from Kevin De Bruyne that he struck under the wall. But Cardiff coming forward, and the ball right across the 6-yard box ahead of Patterson and Mendez-Lang at the back post, and it's through for a goal kick.
That's fantastic. I think it's a throw-in actually, John. Yeah. Wonderful play.
Joe Bennett with an excellent ball in from the left.
Brilliant, absolutely. And two, not 1, 2 Cardiff players on the end of that. Not a Man City defender in sight. And it's just almost too good a cross, isn't it, for both of them? Too much pace for one and just a little bit too much elevation for the other.
Yeah.
Really great opportunity. And they've come right back into this, Cardiff. They really have.
However, the ball has been won back on the halfway line from Grujic. So now Manchester City with the ball on the left-hand side with Gundogan. Gundogan is being patrolled there on the right-hand side by Richards. The ball is played across field. Walker now on the right. Walker picks out Sterling, who's out towards the right flank. Sterling near the right corner of the box, looking for a 1-2 with De Bruyne. Sterling gets a couple of fortunate breaks of the ball. Sané now. This is dangerous for Cardiff. The ball inside the area. All of this intricate Manchester City play. De Bruyne then rolls it back behind him to Walker, who puts his foot on the ball. He plays it square to Sané, who thinks about a shot left-footed. He does. It's deflected. And then it's cleared away, but only back to Fernandinho. Manchester City leading by a goal to nil on 5 Live and the World Service here at the atmospheric Cardiff City Stadium. First time that this stadium has been full in it's almost a year and a half since Neil Warnock took over as manager, when they were in a tricky situation at the bottom end of the Championship. Now they're pushing for promotion to the Premier League once again. Gundogan though for Manchester City, that's an impressive run, shoots, it's blocked, and then the ball is steered away, but only back. More groans from the home supporters. Danilo to Kevin De Bruyne, forward and right of the centre circle. Walker's available. Walker takes on Junior Hoylett. The ball deflects away and it runs out of play for what is given as a throw-in to Cardiff City. They're in the mood, Manchester City, mind you. When are they not?
Yes, this is this is actually shaping up to be a fantastic contest. We've just, every time that Cardiff gone forward, had one half chance, one really good chance, but all of a sudden you can see as soon as that ball breaks down, Man City, the counter-attack is so quick. They get so many men forward so quickly that is going to be a concern. So yes, Cardiff are going to have to take a little bit of a risk. Yes, they are going to, if they want to get back into this game, maybe throw more men forward, goal side of the ball than they'd like. But that actually makes for a really good game of football.
Well, all of the players at the moment, it's almost that old phrase, you could throw a blanket over them. Yeah. They're all 6 or 7 yards either side of the halfway line. Manchester City holding that extremely high line as goalkeeper Etheridge took the free kick, which in the end has actually found its way back to him. So now he clears long. Header away by Otamendi. Another one of these Manchester City players who've recently signed a new contract, and Ekele Manga turns and plays the ball back once again to Etheridge. So the best part of 30,000 people in this stadium here, which has just the one tier at either end. The far side, the stand on the far side towers over the rest of the stadium. A high second tier of red seats up there, which is absolutely packed on this grey afternoon with drizzle in the air, as Manchester City now bringing the ball forward with Leroy Sané, who's in very good goal scoring form after a little dry spell midwinter. Gundogan takes it on, plays it to the right hand side. Walker sets himself, shoots low into the penalty area. That's blocked by Captain Morrison. Rebounds to Sané on the left hand side. Sané looks and finds Danilo available up the line, and Danilo square. Fernandinho allows it to run. A touch from Kyle Walker, and Vincent Kompany now, having returned from his latest injury problem, a calf injury. Kompany has a little bit of a foray forward. He's on the right hand side. The club captain, 31 years old, back towards the halfway line again. Walker forward from him, and Manchester City just now slowing the pace again. Just a series of touches and passes over the halfway line. Walker allows it to run as a heavier shower sweeps into the stadium here to the west of Cardiff city centre, not too far away from the River Taff. Here is Kompany, but Manchester City just keeping possession inside their own half. A little run forward from Bernardo Silva, who now takes it into the centre circle. He twists one way and the other with his orange boots. The Portuguese looks to his left. Otamendi's going to join in, and as Cardiff players back away, Otamendi takes it on now, gives it to Sané on the edge of the box. Sané now all left-footed to the D, attempts to slip it through to Bernardo Silva, but it hits the heels of a Cardiff defender, and the home side are able to clear it away towards the halfway line. But just about every Manchester City player had a touch in that move.
I like the way that Sane gives you the width, starts from out to in, but always when he comes inside, it tends to be at the right time. He doesn't congest the play. He waits and waits and waits until that space opens up, and then he cuts himself in and makes that extra man just inside the fullback and give the option to the man on the ball. But what he does, he keeps that space open until the right time. He doesn't go and congest it or get in there too early, and that's what I like about him. He gives you the width, but he'll also give you an option inside if needed.
Yeah, extremely talented young player, this German international.
I think he's the one that's made more of a difference than anybody else, because he's given them that balance and that width down the left-hand side. You know, we had Silva going into it, didn't we? And De Bruyne going in. No longer so.
Steady on, Steve. Here come Cardiff. Zohore on the edge of the penalty area, moves away from Otamendi, shoots, it's deflected and headed down on the edge of the area by Fernandinho. Just wasn't too much support there for Zohore.
I don't think he could have actually. I think he could have got it. Otamendi then. Otamendi's gone to ground, but he doesn't.
Space opening up now for Manchester City. That's ominous. Bernardo Silva into the area, left-footed, shoots into the net.
It's offside.
Oh, the flag's up. Well, Manchester City are still celebrating. It was an extremely cleanly struck shot by Bernardo Silva.
How can he be offside?
It makes you wonder how the flag can possibly have gone up.
In front? Is there someone in front of the goalkeeper?
Well,
I don't know how he can be offside.
That can be the only reason. And Pep Guardiola, I see, has gone to the assistant and the fourth official, and he's putting his palms apart. And the referee, Lee Mason, has gone across.
Sane's in front of the goalkeeper.
And the referee has consulted with the assistant on the far side. And he says, yeah, it's a free kick, it's offside. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's very difficult for the linesman from his angle to be seeing that Sane has drifted in front of the keeper. I can understand the referee looking down the pitch, but looking across it to get that dead-eyed like that, I don't know. I think they've been hard done by Man City, I've got to say.
You know, when you think that
he's not getting
how often would you see that goal disallowed in those circumstances?
No, you wouldn't.
Very rarely.
Absolutely not, no.
So it's a let-off for Cardiff City. De Bruyne now, Manchester City, you can tell they feel they've been wronged here, and De Bruyne went on a direct run at the edge of the penalty area, was impeded by at least one Cardiff player, was sent sprawling, and it's a free kick to Manchester City in a central area. Probably 4 yards outside the D.
Yes, they have. Guardiola is, well, he's apoplectic. He's banging his head, rubbing his head, shaking his head, you know, hands in his head as if to say, what are they doing down there? They've got that one completely wrong. Another great opportunity. I mean, how many free kicks have we already seen in and around the Cardiff box where Man City players have got one-on-one in those sort of areas, and Cardiff, you know, haven't been able to live with them. They've had to bring them down. It's another great opportunity for Man City here, but yeah, you're right. I think they will feel a little bit hard done by so far.
It's quite central, this one. It's not going to be De Bruyne who's taken a position on the edge of the area.
But it could be anyone else in the team apart from De Bruyne.
I think the assistant has called across the referee, Lee Mason, I guess because of what Pep Guardiola has said to him about the disallowing of the Bernardo Silva goal. The fourth official is there as well. Quick word between Lee Mason and Pep Guardiola, then the referee runs back, and still Pep Guardiola is raging against officialdom.
It shows how much it means though, John, doesn't it? It's not like he's just accepted it. It really does mean something to him, that decision in this game.
This looks as though it's going to be Gundogan. It is, over the wall, and it dips over the top left corner as Gundogan was looking at it. And Pep Guardiola down there stalks away again. He's got that sort of zip-up hoodie on today. It's not too cold this afternoon, so it's not zipped up, and he moves away and he sits down.
I'm not even sure he's in front of the I'm not even sure he is actually blocking the view.
I mean, he makes a run across the line of the ball.
Just not getting there, the keeper. Simple as that. He's just not getting there.
And we should remind everyone, by the way, for those who don't know, that the video assistant referee, the VAR, is not being used for this match.
The only reason why we're using it for some and not for others, and
well, the reason it's not being used here is because there would not be enough camera positions at this ground. Free kick for Cardiff, just forward of the halfway line, which Richards sent forwards, and then the ball is ballooned away high and wide and behind into the Manchester City supporters.
I'm not buying that. There's not enough camera positions.
That's why. That's
I'm
why.
sorry.
That's
I'm not kidding. You only need 4 or 5 to see whether or not that is right. No, that's
why.
That might be the reason, but that isn't the reason, if you know what I mean. I just don't buy that one. I'm sorry.
That's Steve Claridge with us on 5 Live. Gundogan back to Fernandinho, first time touch. De Bruyne, there's so much space on the right hand side. Sterling arrives on the ball in the area, attempts to cross it. It's blocked by Ekele Manga, comes out to De Bruyne. His shot is charged down, it's blocked on the edge of the penalty area by Grujic, and the ball deflects out towards the right hand side. It does have the feel of another goal coming for Manchester City. Ball's played in towards the edge of the area, stretching header away by Grujic, and Patterson can't reach it. Manchester City back in possession. Sterling now shooting left-footed, and whether that took a flick off Morrison, it did, actually, and it's a corner as it flew over the top of the crossbar.
And really fluent. I mean, as you said, I mean, the goal does change the game. It gives it a completely different complexion. At that stage, you're probably looking from a Cardiff perspective and going, do you know what? I don't really think we can get back in this. It's going to be very, very difficult. At 1-0, you keep going, you still keep battling away, you still keep believing, that you'll get that opportunity they had, 5 or 10 minutes ago. Another one of those will come along, and we might just get back in the game. At 2-0, I'm not sure you look at it that way.
It's a corner from the left for Manchester City. Sané takes it to the near post. It's cleared away. Comes out to De Bruyne. And De Bruyne now just steers it with his outside of his right foot back to Danilo on the halfway line. Yep, it was a break for Cardiff that the Bernardo Silva goal was ruled out. And it was certainly a break for the neutrals inside the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Here's Bernardo Silva, just rolling the ball back into his own half. So Cardiff 0, Manchester City 1. Cardiff, who are just a couple of points away from the automatic places in the Championship, the promotion places. Derby County in second, and Cardiff, when you think they actually had been bottom of the table in the early part of last season before Paul Trollope left the club. Neil Warnock was the first and only choice. I was reading this morning from the club chairman, Mehmet Dalman, in a very interesting interview in the Sunday Times, that how he came to ring Neil Warnock up. Neil Warnock wondered if he was going to come for an interview. The ball's played forward. Zohore has a look over his shoulder. He's onside, and he has the ball on the left hand side. He takes on Company, but as he played it past him, Company just came across, and then a foul on Fernandinho inside the penalty area by Mendes Lang, who rather lunged in, and it's Manchester City's ball inside their own box.
Well, it's 2 or 3 times that Zohore has got in behind that Man City defence, got one-on-one in a good area, and I don't think he's really ever believed that he's going to beat his opponent, whoever it may be, whether it be on the left or the right. He hasn't really attacked him and got at them and really given them something to think about. It's all been a little bit one-paced. He does. He's just been a little bit one-paced, a little bit telegraphed in what he's trying to do. And I mean, Company actually reads it before he does, I think. So it's easy defending for Company there.
Callum Patterson is in discussions with Fernandinho. There's a little bit of arm waving, the two of them together, and still the conversation continues from Callum Patterson, the Cardiff City number 18, the former Hearts man, playing in midfield, can play at the back, and Manchester City leading by 1-0. The Kevin De Bruyne free kick in the 8th minute, his 10th goal of the season across all of the competitions, and Fernandinho's okay after that. It was quite a heavy challenge by Mendes Lang. But Manchester City with Walker on the right-hand side. Walker drags it back to the edge of the area. Bernardo Silva with a great touch there. Left-footed cross in towards the edge of the box. Stooping header away by Morrison. De Bruyne now 30 yards out to the edge of the area to Sané, who couldn't lay it off. And it's cleared away towards the halfway line to Zohore, who has 3 Manchester City players around him. And he went for the best possible scenario and got it, which was to win a throw-in on the halfway line against Otamendi.
He'll be pleased with that, Guardiola. The amount of pressure that was on Zahor there, as you said, 3 players immediately as it went up to him, around him on the halfway line, quick as they can, trying to win that ball back.
So what is the correct approach now for Cardiff City when you're 1-0 down against this Manchester City team at home?
Well, as you said before, I think it's the time and the place to go and put pressure on the ball. I think you've just got to make it difficult for them. Don't switch off. Concentrate. Stay with your runner, which is, I know, is easier said than done. And maybe like we said before, you had that 5-10 minute period where they created a little bit. It got the crowd behind them. You know, those one or two moments when you go and actually look for the second phase ball that pops out, you squeeze the lines a little bit higher and you get after them, and then you've got to relax and you've got to chill out, because whatever happens, you start going in pockets, 1s and 2s, you'll get picked off. So it's a time and a place to get after the ball. You cannot do that continuously. They'll just tear you apart.
Yeah, 1-0. It could easily be 2-0. If you've only just joined us, Bernardo Silva had a goal seemingly really harshly ruled out for Leroy Sané being in an offside position, running across or running under the arc of the ball as it hit the crossbar and ended up in the back of the net. So it is 1-0, and I see Kevin Blackwell down there. I mean, that's such a long-running partnership, isn't it? Kevin Blackwell and Neil Warnock. Neil Warnock, 69 years old now. And first thing I saw when I drove up to the stadium today was Neil Warnock plastered over the side of the stadium. Did you see that?
I certainly did.
I can't think of too many stadiums that have a picture of the manager, and not a little picture.
No.
Of virtually the whole of the side of the stadium.
Picture, wasn't it? Yes.
With management as it is.
He's got his arm raised, didn't he?
He did. I see they've got a hashtag as well. We are Warnock. Right. Cardiff City. Here's Sané on the left-hand side. De Bruyne flicks it forward, and it deflects to Rawls on the edge of the area, who's able to play it up above Zahor, who allows it to bounce over Company. Company puts in the challenge and it bounces out of play.
I'll tell you what, if you had a sole front player who had bags of pace, there's 3 or 4 times there again, if he's got real pace to burn and he can go at people and he's quicker than the defenders he's up against, he has got in some really outstanding positions, and as I said, hasn't really believed that he can get away from his marker. If he did, really, really good opportunities from a Cardiff perspective.
The ball in the Manchester City left-back area. De Bruyne wins a throw-in off Zahor, who is tangling with him. But there's an idea for you, Steve, for your Salisbury team. We are Claridge. Do you do hashtags at Salisbury?
No, don't, please. Yeah. No.
As Gundogan breaks away because the ball was lost in centre field by Jazz Richards, so he's out of position in the right back area. Manchester City pouring forward. It's swung out to De Bruyne, who is in space. That's dangerous. Chests it down. It was at neck height, but Cardiff have been able to get back into position. But it breaks for Bernardo Silva, who crosses, and it is headed down and in by Raheem Sterling. Edge of the 6-yard box, was able to twist, nod it back from where it came, and it bounced up and in past Etheridge's dive, and that is the second goal for Manchester City with just less than 10 minutes to go to half-time. Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, as you said, for the neutral, not exactly what we wanted, but from a Man City perspective, everything that they've deserved. A wonderful, wonderful ball in, and that ain't a bad header, by the way. I've got to say that's not an easy header. It's whipped in with pace, and what he's done brilliantly is he's headed it down and he's got the direction on that into the far corner. It's a really, really good finish, a good header. He keeps his eye on the ball. There's a player just in front of him, and you're thinking just maybe he might lose the flight, but he doesn't. He keeps a good eye on it and heads it back across goal, down and into the top corner. Wonderful finish, and on the balance of play, you can't argue with the scoreline.
No, absolutely not. It's 19 goals now for Raheem Sterling.
It's a wonderful return. I'm pleased he's playing on the right. I think that's his position. As I say, he's another one who suffered with Sané not being here. Now Sané's got his rightful position. He's a right-sided player. No matter what you say, and when you've got the width the other side, it doesn't half benefit. They can benefit each other because the pitch then becomes big. When you have one that's a little bit
So Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2, BBC 5 Live and the World Service. It's the second time this week that I've seen Manchester City away from home. A tricky match against championship opposition. They were 2-0 up against Bristol City on Tuesday night, and here they are 2-0 up as the offside flag is up against Bernardo Silva. You must be wondering what he's done to deserve this, but it is a free kick. We thought it was all over on Tuesday night, and Bristol City confounded us in the latter stages. But what I would say is that, you know, the Manchester City approach has been spot on in both of those matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does say that, doesn't he? We're not going to let up, and we're not going to take our foot off the gas, and whatever we do, we'll do it right to the very end.
Good persistence from Joe Rawls, who won the ball on the edge of the area. It bounced into the box, but as he reached it, he just caught Walker, so it's a free kick to Manchester City inside their own area. And the other thing I would say as a reflection on that, Steve, is, with Manchester City, in inverted commas, going for success on four fronts, the way I've seen them this week, the way that they've played in these two matches, they are clearly going to give this a go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think one of the two of the performances in Europe have instead they've certainly gone to the next level. We know that, and I think it'll come down possibly to how they defend. I think at the top level, when you've got the amount of ball they have, I think we know going forward that there are no question marks. I think they are, without doubt, they've got all the boxes ticked. I still just wonder at the very, very top level, when people ask question marks of them defensively, Otamendi, Mangala, even Company with his injuries. Let's just see. But there's absolutely no doubt they'll go with everything they've got, and they have an outstanding opportunity of doing exactly what they require, which is, as you say, fighting on all four fronts and winning on all four fronts.
They've not been able to keep a clean sheet in their last 6 matches.
No.
In all competitions.
No, that as I say, that's the start of the season. That was the one area that I would question them, but it's a small question, should we say?
Yeah, so. They're leading 2-0 here. Sané's just laid the ball off, and he's reacting there as though he was just caught by Morrison, but Manchester City with the ball inside their own half. And remember, of course, Pep Guardiola has had a season where his team has won the lot, back in 2009 with Barcelona. So he knows how to do it, how to chase success.
This would be more of a success story from his perspective, I would say, because he probably had the fair amount of ammunition when he went there, didn't he? I mean, here you get the feeling
Hoylett's done well against Walker, pulls the ball across. Company was able to turn, readjust and play it away.
This has been more of a building project for him, hasn't it?
Well, they're certainly enjoying the fruits. And here's Sterling now playing at De Bruyne. Manchester City are off and flying. Sané receives it. Sané beats one defender. Challenge comes in on him. He uses Danilo, who drives it across the face of goal and out of play for a throw-in on the far side.
So quick. So quick to get on the counter-attack. And, he's... I like that. He's even slapping his hands together, the manager, wanting that third goal.
They were like a purple blur there, weren't they?
I mean, that's the thing, that they almost in sync. They know exactly when to. And I think when you do counter like that, you've got to have complete confidence in the ability of the player that's got the ball to keep it and not give it away, because they throw so many men forward from those counter attacks. They do really leave themselves a little bit open, but they very rarely do they get caught, on the counter attack, giving the ball away, because they're so good in possession.
Here's one for Zohore to chase, but he was second favourite to get there against Walker, who's able to turn and play it back to Claudio Bravo. Ekele Manga takes the ball down nicely actually and plays it to the left hand side to Hoylett. Challenge comes in from Walker. It's out of play for a throw in to Cardiff on the far side of the field in the royal blue shirt, shorts and socks with the white trim, playing from left to right towards the end where the couple of thousand and more Manchester City supporters are behind the goal and round the corner towards the big stand on the opposite side of the ground. That drizzle seems to have relented for the time being, but it's quite a blustery afternoon as well. The grey clouds above, and actually as I look up there, the moon suddenly reveals itself through the clouds. Goal kick it is to Manchester City. I was going to say to you, by the way, I mentioned the fact that your role as the manager of Salisbury. How are you in the coaching area during the course of a match?
Oh no,
I'd love to come and see you.
Yeah, sometimes I get a little bit
do you?
animated, so to speak. Yeah, and then I'm thinking I really need to calm down a little bit at times, and keep in control maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, but no, you've got to show that it means something. You've got to show that sort of passion, haven't you? I mean, you can't expect players to go out there and run around and show that they care if you don't. So, and also things. I'm one of those that if something goes wrong, you've got to go and get it sorted immediately. And you do that by getting that message across to your players. In no uncertain terms what you want from them.
A disappointing defeat yesterday, as they say.
I hasten to add, yes.
However, you are very much pushing for promotion.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're second, 7 or 8 points clear of third, so that's not bad considering. We've 10-game winning streak going to a shuddering end.
A Guardiola-style winning streak.
Yes, yeah, but there we go anyway.
Cardiff City have a throw on the left-hand side. Hoylett has won it. So Callum Patterson is going to trot across there. Bluebirds fans rise to their feet as he reaches the ball and wipes it on his blue shirt. He hasn't quite got the throw of Ben Tozer of Newport County, but here it is from Campbell into the penalty area, which is hooked away and then poked away, and now Zane is off onto it. Zane being chased by Jazz Richards. He's up against Ekele Manga. He runs past Ekele Manga. And then he's chopped down on the edge of the area by Bennett, who slid in, took his legs away. The referee, understandably, couldn't get the yellow card out of his back pocket quickly enough, and Joe Bennett is booked.
Yeah, I mean that's not a great challenge, not a great respecter of your opposition player when you're doing something like that. I mean, him in full flight was just unbelievable. I mean, he's run from the edge of his box, and he's actually outpaced Jazz Richards. He's gone past Manga. And to be fair, it's not a great challenge from Bennett, is it? It's one of those challenges at full flight. Oh, that's a sending off. That's a horrendous challenge. Really is. It's dreadful challenge.
Yeah, it was a bad challenge in every sense.
That's when you can look at it and go, actually, do you know what? With video evidence, you can look at that again and go, actually, you can have a 3-gamer for that.
Yeah, he caught him.
That was shocking.
The underside of his boot halfway up his shin.
Yeah, it's dreadful.
His ankle twisted as he went down. I thought, he's all right.
The initial challenge we looked like, I thought he just slid in, and it was a case of Sane going over his leg, but that was horrendous.
So it's another free kick in a very good position for Manchester City. 2-0 up. Bernardo Silva hits this. It hits the wall, the head of one of the Cardiff players in the home wall, and it bounces towards the halfway line.
Sane now, look. Doesn't look at that on his haunches.
Yeah, I mean he did. The pictures that we see here, clearly his ankle rolled, and
it's taking him out just below. Well, it's between the knee and the ankle, isn't it? He's actually caught him. Dreadful challenge.
Manchester City leading through the goals of De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. So that's 10 as De Bruyne moves into double figures for this season. Sterling extending his best ever goal scoring season to 19 goals. As I've said a couple of times this season, I'm not sure we thought that Raheem Sterling had that in him to get us, there's every chance he'll go on into the 20s.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see Sane won't be coming out for the second half by the looks of this.
He's standing on the pitch.
He's come across and he's just stood there.
He's got his hands on his knees.
Yeah.
And just flexing, and he is hobbling, and they'll just see how he is.
If Mason sees that properly, then he sends him off. There's absolutely no question of that. That's one of it's a really poor. Just one of the worst changes I've seen for a while, actually. Full flight as well. There's not an awful lot he can do. His legs standing as well, and really has taken
for that bad challenge. So 2-0 it is. Half time, very close. The ball at the back with Manchester City, who will play it from the back, but it's been a thoroughly professional and very good performance from Manchester City. And whether Cardiff City are going to be able to come up with a couple of goals in the way that Bristol City did on Tuesday night is very much open to question. I have my doubts. Sterling playing it back to Company, and there is the whistle, and Leroy Sané still limping. He's actually just next to the tunnel on this side of the pitch, So he's able to go down there with a very stern look on his face, and I can imagine, with some reason, that he's not best pleased with the challenge that he received. But Steve Claridge, 2-0 to Manchester City.
Yes, 2-0, and that's absolutely right. They've been fantastic at times. I think 5 uncomfortable moments. One brought on by the keeper, another by Joe Bennett, who put in a marvellous cross. And aside from that, no concerns at all. Very, very comfortable afternoon, and just what Pep Guardiola would have wanted.
Yep, Manchester City have at least 1 foot in tomorrow night's 5th round draw. Half time here, Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Fifth round draw tomorrow, 7:45. We'll keep you updated on that one. Also, we've got a second half getting underway in about 15 minutes time for yourself, so don't go anywhere for that one. We've got all of the reaction, all of the stats within the first half as well. That is all coming up for yourself. Also, we're getting the news at 5 o'clock, and we're going to be kicking off a brand new series of Series 12 of SJ Radio from Monday the 5th of February. It's easy, isn't it? It's all easy. It's all easy. I can play Move 5 and then this week's number 1 in the charts.
Oh mama, don't play now, baby. Say, hey now, baby. So let's get one thing straight now, baby. Tell me if you love me or not, love me or not, love me or not. Let me put the house on you, am I lucky or not, lucky or not, lucky or not? You gotta tell me if you love me or not, love me or not, love me or not. Been wishing for you, am I lucky or not, lucky or not, lucky or not?
Change. Are we too grown to mess around? Oh, and I can't wait forever, baby. Both of us should know better.
Ooh, 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 been wishing for you. Ooh, ooh. Try to do what lovers do. Ooh.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live coverage near every game, every goal. Live SJ Radio.
For me, well, darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me, 'cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Well, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight.
Well, I found a man stronger than anyone I know. He shares my dreams. I hope that someday we'll share our home. I found love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand. Be your girl, you'll be my man. And I see my future in your eyes. Well, baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, while listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you look perfect tonight.
Ed Sheeran, Beyonce, Perfect on S Radio. The FA Cup 4th round fixtures. And coming up after the news, coming up to 5 o'clock, we will give you a little insight of what's in store for yourself for Series 12, kicking off Monday the 5th of February from 7 o'clock.
On Spreaker.com, free to download and part of the Internet Radio Group. This is SJ Radio News.
And so on the way for yourself, second half, Cardiff trailed 2-0 in the FA Cup 4th round. Only one Chelsea knocked Newcastle out 3-0. Same sort of scenario, 2-0 out to Manchester City at the moment, but can Cardiff held it back. We'll go back live to the Cardiff City Stadium in about 6 minutes time. Our first connection from Scotty Centre. It's exactly 5 o'clock.
Police investigating a fatal collision have released a CCTV image of a second man they want to speak to following the deaths of 3 teenagers. A 28-year-old man remains in custody after a car mounted a pavement in Hayes in West London on Friday night. Melissa Weston, sister of one of the victims, Josh Kennedy, says they feel empty without him. Jeremy Corbyn appears to have ruled out a second EU referendum, saying that ship has sailed. Meanwhile, Tory Brexiteers are said to be increasingly concerned about alleged Brexit compromises being made by Theresa May. The Chancellor, Philip Hammond, has said changes to UK-EU relations could be very modest. Former Northern Ireland Secretary Theresa Villiers, who describes herself as a moderate Brexiteer, has concerns.
I very much place myself in the sort of mainstream centre ground of Brexit opinion within the Conservative Party in Parliament, and even I'm somewhat worried about the number of compromises that have been made.
Police are going to try to contact a woman who claims she was sexually assaulted by the rapper Nelly after a gig in the UK. It's alleged the woman, who's been named in a US lawsuit, was assaulted at Cliffs Pavilion in Southend last December. Nelly denies the allegations. In sports, Roger Federer has sealed a 20th Grand Slam tennis title after beating Marin Cilic in a 5-set final at the Australian Open. It's back-to-back victories for Federer in Melbourne and a record equalling 6th overall. He says he benefited from a good start to the match.
I was able to get that first game and at least get on the board, and then from then on, you know, maybe momentum shifts a little bit, and that's exactly what happened. So I think experience helped me there a little bit, and also a little bit of luck. I felt like I needed it a bit tonight.
Chelsea eased into the 5th round of the FA Cup with a 3-0 win over Newcastle. Manchester City are just getting underway in their round 4 tie at Cardiff. Rangers beat Ross County 2-1 in the Scottish Premiership. And England's cricketers wrapped up a 4-1 one-day international series win over Australia with a 12-1 victory in Perth. Australia were chasing 260 for victory. That's the latest. I'm Andy Hayes.
Monday the 5th of February. Keep it in your diaries, people.
Today's best mix, SJ Radio.
We're live on the Spreaker Network. Around the world. Sean.
Why should you never fighting it up for venue? Because I have no windows.
Jamie.
It's your turn. Finally, you can sit on the throne. Oh, get on, mummy.
Stars. It's a girl Rihanna.
What's the deal, y'all? You ain't this.
What's up? It's a girl Rihanna.
What's the deal, y'all? This is Big Will Smith. Justin Bieber.
What's up? It's Miley Cyrus. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga.
Hi, I'm Robbie Williams.
Music.
Come on, can we still be friends?
Our heart is in Havana.
Hey, to start the show.
The following program contains the biggest songs, the news you want, and your travel information.
We're live on the Spreaker Network for the next 3 hours. This is SJ Radio with Sean and Jamie Gay. This is SJ Radio with Sean and Jamie Gay.
The golden microphone is on.
Keep it in your diary, people. Monday the 5th of February, the brand new series of Series 12 of SJ Radio is in action. It's not long now, not Monday, not tomorrow, but next Monday is where we're all kicking things back off again. Stay tuned for that one. And we have the second half. I know.
SJ Radio.
And we've got a second half of the FA Cup is all coming up for yourself. Don't go anywhere.
SJ Radio.
Jam nitty gritty. You're listening to the boy from the big bad city. This is Jam Hot. This is Jam Hot.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live coverage 2016. Every game, every goal, live SJ Radio.
Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. For the Renegade Master. Power to the people. For the Renegade Master. With the ill behavior. D4 Damager, power to the people. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again. D4 Damager, power to the people. Back once again. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Power to the people. With the ill behavior. Power to the people. Power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. 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 Power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. With the ill behavior. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damager. Power to the people. Back once again for the Renegade Master. D4 Damage with the ill behavior. Back once again. D4 Damager. Power to the people. Back once again.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Second half just about to get underway. Cardiff City and Manchester City. See you in the end of the second half, guys. Ta-da!
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Walker, Company, Otamendi and Danilo, Fernandinho, De Bruyne and Gundogan, with Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero, the substitute. Here's Gundogan now for Manchester City. Gundogan just leaves it to Sterling, who's going to play it in from an angle, but it's headed away by Morrison, the Cardiff captain, and then there's a foul, a tug on the far side, and it's a free kick to Cardiff for that challenge, and Patterson was fouled, and it's a free kick to Manchester City. So 2-0. The goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. That's now 98 goals for Manchester City in all competitions this season. They've been scoring them at an average rate of, well, over 2.5. I think it was 2.66 goals per match this season coming into today. There's every chance that they'll keep the average up. Cardiff City Stadium, it can be rousing in here, but the supporters just watching quite quietly with the scoreline as it is. And Raheem Sterling winning the ball back on the left-hand side, and he's off over the halfway line, giving the ball to the support, which has come from Danilo. Square ball infield towards Aguero, who's got a great scoring rate in the FA Cup, incidentally. Aguero gets the ball back from Bernardo Silva, then tried to play it back, but it was cleared away by Ekele Manga. Yeah, 16 goals in 16 appearances in the FA Cup for Sergio Aguero. Cardiff, famously the only club to have taken the FA Cup out of England, playing it down the left-hand side for Patterson to run onto, but Kevin De Bruyne got there first. And now Kyle Walker on the right side puts his foot and will give it back to Kevin De Bruyne, who started the scoring, if you weren't listening, in the first half. A clever free kick that he rolled underneath the jumping wall in the 8th minute, And Raheem Sterling scored with a header, sort of bouncing header, readjusted himself well in the 6-yard box to head it back from the towards the side it came from, the cross from Bernardo Silva, who's in possession now for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva in between two Cardiff players, Bennett and also Hoylett. But Manchester City keep the ball, and now Otamendi, little forward pass towards Sterling on the far side. Danilo back towards Otamendi, who thought about the long pass, but in the end rolls it forward to Gundogan, who managed to find himself some space. Sterling with a touch, and then uncharacteristically De Bruyne with a wasted pass, and Cardiff should clear it away. But De Bruyne has hooked it back, and he's actually caught Jazz Richards as he went in for the bouncing ball. It's a free kick, and Richards has stayed down, Steve Claridge.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's happened. I think even De Bruyne is looking a little bit mystified. It's bounced, and he's actually facing the ball, and Jazz Richards comes in from the side of him, and it's just as he brings his leg down. I mean, he gets the ball cleanly, but it's as on the way down he just catches Jazz Richards' knee. I just understand why he's looking a little bit perplexed by it, De Bruyne, because he's not quite sure what he's done wrong there. But
so it's a free kick to Cardiff that Etheridge, the goalkeeper, the Philippines international, is going to hit long and downfield. Fernandinho seemed to strike his arm. He was off balance because of the challenge that came in on him, and then as the ball bounces away, referee Lee Mason gives a free kick Cardiff's way, closer towards the halfway line. I must say my eyes were on the initial incident there.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what happened in the second incident that went Cardiff's way.
I think it might have been it's a handball as he's gone up for it. I don't know, but I'm with you on that one. I mean, I'm looking at the first supposed push by Company.
Well,
I think it's
Sterling, because he didn't give the free kick and Sterling caught it.
Yes,
that's why. Right, it's a free kick then from an angle, and it's going to be fired in from the right hand side from Richards, and it's gone through everyone and through for a goal kick. And Neil Warnock down there, the Cardiff City manager, just wanted a better delivery than that.
Well, it's not a bad delivery, John. It's just no one's actually attempted to get on the end of it. It's a good flight, good trajectory. It's not that it's beaten everybody for pace, or it's beaten everyone because it's too high or the elevation's wrong. It's just no one's actually bothered to try and get on the end of it.
So the atmosphere, really, the Cardiff supporters need a goal to lift them. Cardiff need a goal to lift them, and if they are able to get a foothold and make it 2-1. However, it's Manchester City on the move, who give it here to the right hand side to Aguero, who's up against Ekele Manga, goes inside and gives it to Bernardo Silva, almost trying to walk the ball into the net. Cardiff scrape it, partly clear. Sterling with a little run, it's cleared away by Hoylett, and Cardiff have been able to clear their lines. Shouts for a handball by Patterson, which struck the arms of Fernandinho. I'm not sure there was a great deal he could do about that, but the free kick's been given for a handball to the home side.
It was almost Arsenal-esque there, wasn't it? I mean, everybody's looking to pass it, but no one's quite willing to get their shot off there. And there's one or two occasions where they really should have just fired a shot towards goal and just see what happens, but they were trying to be far too intricate there, Man City.
They were. So it's a free kick to Cardiff. So it will be Colin Murray and Ian Wright with 606 today. I think that might be a new partnership. Anyway, 08085 909 693 to talk to them after the end of the weekend's FA Cup ties, as De Bruyne is caught there in the centre circle. Manchester City have taken a quick free kick. It's through to Sterling. Sterling's past the goalkeeper, and a crucial final challenge when Etheridge was left for dead from Morrison, who came in just as Sterling was looking to roll it into an empty net.
Look at Sterling, he's absolutely, he's really angry with himself that he hasn't scored. That's what you love about Man City. You look at it, you think 2-0 up, they're cruising in this game, and yet you've got the manager going mad because they've a goal disallowed. You've got Sterling going mad because he hasn't scored another goal. That's what it's all about. That's what you talk about when you say about winners.
It was the touch, actually, as Etheridge came flying out.
Touch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the way he played it past him. That gave Morrison the chance. Here's the corner, however, from the left-hand side. De Bruyne, it's easily cleared away. It was a poor delivery, actually, from De Bruyne. And Etheridge, who's rather fortunate not to have conceded a third goal, clears the ball up towards the halfway line. Joe Rawls This industrious midfield player for Cardiff City loses possession though, and Manchester City in the purple away kit back in possession. De Bruyne works it square to Aguero. Sterling's gone down on the far side of the field. Referee Mason looking over his shoulder. I think Sterling's going to be back on his feet in a moment. Don't know what happened there off the ball, but Walker now on the right hand side, and in snapped the challenge from Bennett to play it off Kyle Walker and behind, and Walker can't believe it that he's not won a corner. Or at least that's what his body language suggests.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it would have been a call, the way that the ball was played and then the way that the ball has actually gone out. But we'll see here.
Certainly looks like
made
a
the
corner.
challenge. I was going to say that's exactly the way that I read the challenge there. But oh well, I don't think they'll get too down about it, will they?
I don't think so.
No.
I hope not. 2-0 to Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. Get in touch as ever on whatever social media you use, at 5Live Sport. You can text 85058 to join in with 606 and book your call as Etheridge hits the ball away downfield. And now this could open up for Zohore, who shoots, blazes it over on the volley from the angle on the left side of the penalty area, well wide actually by 3 yards.
What a magnificent chance. Took an absolute eternity to get it down. Mendes Lang running alongside him. I mean, this is what you're talking about defensively. And look at that, 2 of them absolutely in the clear. So it takes an absolute eternity to get that ball down and get it under. It really is a fantastic chance there. 2-1. It's a different game, isn't it? 2-1, it's a different game.
Well,
but,
Ashton Gate the other night was a real object lesson in how suddenly things can change. When you think a game is over and done, and as it turned out for Bristol City, the second goal just came too late. But, I mean, they were a distant second best, Bristol City, in that match, yet it was a close run thing in the end. Here's Bernardo Silva, 2-0 Manchester City. This is 5Live and the World Service as well, live from South Wales, the Welsh capital, the Cardiff City Stadium here, as De Bruyne plays it towards the left-hand side to Danilo. De Bruyne gets it back, and Manchester City doing their thing inside the Cardiff City half. They'll be back in Premier League action. We'll have commentary on Tuesday night and Wednesday night from the Premier League for you, as Bernardo Silva is tripped by Junior Hoylett, and it's a free kick 10 yards inside the Cardiff half. Bernardo Silva quickly up onto his feet and giving the ball back to Walker behind him, and Walker plays it to the other full-back on the left-hand side, Danilo. Now Kevin De Bruyne, the ball just rolling at his feet, puts his foot on it, just so comfortable in possession, and then back towards the halfway line. Yeah, we've got commentary on Tuesday night on the Huddersfield-Liverpool match. Liverpool back in action after the events of last night, and then Wednesday night live from Wembley, it is the Tottenham-Manchester United Premier League game on what is also transfer deadline day. So I guess Ian Dennis, our friend, will have his senior football reporter hat firmly on his head. Here's Otamendi, who plays the ball back to goalkeeper Bravo, who chips it over Zohore. Back to Otamendi, who's late. Zohore on the challenge on Otamendi. The ball had gone, and Zohore, having been made the hair around, a touch of frustration on that late challenge.
It's not. We're not talking in the scheme of things anything like the challenge we saw earlier on.
Not from
it's just,
Bennett, no.
No, it's just a little bit late and it's clumsy, and as you say, there's a little bit of frustration in there as well, but no real malice.
So it's a free kick to Manchester City, and Otamendi's okay. And he wasn't shown the yellow card for that.
No, and I think that's right. I think Otamendi probably has made an awful lot more of it than the challenge merited, but that one Lee Mason got right. I don't think that did deserve a booking, in all honesty.
So this is 5Live, Manchester City 2-0 up. Over on 5Live Sports Extra, by the way, the basketball on British Basketball Finals Day, the Worcester Wolves against Cheshire Phoenix. You can hear on your digital radio, your BBC iPlayer app, on 5Live Sports Extra. But this is the Emirates FA Cup. The draws tomorrow night just after 7. Here's Gundogan just outside the D, lays it back to Fernandinho, and then Bennett snaps in with a challenge on Aguero, but the ball just runs back to the purple shirts of Manchester City. Fernandinho, Aguero with a touch, Bernardo Silva gets it back again, just down in front of where we sit on the lower tier on the dressing room side of the Cardiff City Stadium. Walker back to Bernardo Silva. who certainly has become more of a central figure as the season has gone on. Again, no David Silva for Manchester City in the 18 today. So here is his namesake, Bernardo Silva, left-footed, plays it straight onto the chest of Junior Hoylett, who's able to take it down and actually forced by Walker to concede a throw in. Just ran out of pitch. So Walker takes the throw back to the orange boots of Bernardo Silva, who rolls it back towards the halfway line. Manchester City on Wednesday night are going to be playing West Brom at the Etihad Stadium, looking to potentially stretch their already 12-point lead at the top of the Premier League. We'll have coverage of that, of course, as well. Morrison playing the ball away towards the halfway line, but Walker's able to get there first and roll it all the way back to goalkeeper Bravo. I see you're not on Monday night club duty tomorrow night, Steve.
No,
it's Chris Sutton and Ian Wright who'll be with Rory Smith and Mark Chapman tomorrow evening on 5 Live, with all that is to discuss from this FA Cup weekend. And as I say, the draw will be the usual time, sometime after 7 o'clock. It's on the One Show as well tomorrow night on BBC One, and Ruud Gullit and Robbie Savage are picking the balls. Why are you laughing?
There's a contrast.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at that? Don't be unkind.
Good on. Why do you say that?
It was the way you laughed.
Right.
Snorted.
Okay. No, not at all.
Yeah. So they'll be picking the balls
Robbie's, aren't they?
I know you were.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes, of course he is. Sterling through the middle now with Gundogan. Gundogan tries to loop it through. Aguero got his head to it. That could have been something special if that had worked out for Manchester City, but Bennett just nipped in and was able to clear it away.
That goal, if Zaha had managed to get that ball down and take what was an excellent opportunity, it's just given a bit of life into not just the crowd, but I think the players. I think that's sort of like almost seen them off in a way now. I think this is just a passing exercise very much from Man City now. You know, and I think if they had that goal and they'd had something to aim at, I think we'd have seen a little bit more tempo. You might have seen a little bit more energy from Cardiff. But at this stage, I think they've almost accepted it, haven't they?
Yeah. And Pep Guardiola just a few yards away from Neil Warnock. That's a bit of a contrast as well.
Yeah.
Pep
He's
Guardiola
done very well though, Neil Warnock. Whatever, he might have his
detractors.
Detractors. The naysayers. But he's come here and he's turned this football club around and he's given them something to hang on to, hasn't he? Which is he always delivers, doesn't he, in the Championship? Very rarely does he not.
He's aiming for an 8th promotion, which would be a record.
Yeah.
And Cardiff, and it could happen. Cardiff this season, from the position they're in, they could be back in the Premier League again next season, matching themselves against this sort of opposition. I don't think that the owner, there was some talk that Vincent Tan might be here today, but I hear that he's involved in business in Japan, so he's probably following it from afar.
I know he's another one. He's taken an awful lot of criticism and the blue and the red and whatever, but just look around you. It doesn't happen without him.
Yes, it is an
doesn't
impressive
happen without him.
An impressive arena it is now.
Whatever he's going to leave, he'll leave this, which is a fantastic stadium. It really is a wonderful, wonderful place to come and play football.
Manchester City just toying with Cardiff at the moment, just keeping possession inside their own half and taking whatever potential sting there might be in this game out of it. There's no way there's going to be a sting with Manchester City in possession inside their own half. And indeed, Company turns and gives it back to Claudio Bravo behind him. Out it goes to Otamendi. And Otamendi has a little run towards the halfway line, exchanges passes. The City supporters, the Manchester City fans, absolutely loving this. There's no danger of a goal at either end when Manchester City are in this sort of mood. Fernandinho plays it back to Company, who passes it out to Walker on the right-hand side. And he plays it all the way back.
But if you're not going to put any pressure on the ball, then you're just going to keep doing this, aren't you?
This has got the air of that old West Germany-Austria game at the World Cup in 1982. Cardiff are just sitting back, and Manchester City are knocking the ball around inside their own half. Company thought about a long pass for a nanosecond, played it to Bernardo Silva instead. Aerial ball from Fernandinho, who then heads it straight to to Rolls, and Cardiff City are back in possession. Here's Junior Hoylett on the left-hand side. Hoylett is challenged by Bernardo Silva. There wasn't much in it, but it was enough to knock him off his balance, and it's a free kick to Cardiff on the left-hand side. And Neil Warnock, I see, is going to make a change, his first change, and Anthony Pilkington is going to be the first Cardiff substitute in a moment or two, so he'll bring his energy into the game. Rolls is going to take this free kick from the left, just raises his right arm, high Manchester City line, as they like to do. Rolls ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. It's headed partly across, but then cleared away by Danilo, and Cardiff will have to be careful here on the halfway line. Richards up against Sterling, went to ground. Unfortunately for him, and Cardiff was able to get the ball. Then it's headed across. Zohore on the edge of the box. Zohore challenge, shoots low, and Bravo is able to go down and make a regulation save from the bouncing ball from the shot from Zohore.
Yeah, and Patterson was actually on there, I think, first time, and just laid him in there, and he's clean through. So, you know, they've got in two really good areas, Cardiff. I know, you know, we're all writing them off, saying no chance to get back into this one, but two really good areas, and have made very little of those two good opportunities.
5 Live and the World Service on this Sunday afternoon. Manchester City 2-0 up. If you've been out and about and you haven't heard, Chelsea won 3-0 against Newcastle United. A couple of goals from Batshuayi, one from Alonso. Rangers won 2-1 away against Ross County in the Premiership in Scotland. England won the last one there, so 4-1 in the series. Roger Federer won in 5 sets against Marin Cilic. And Li Hao Teng won the Dubai Desert Classic. Golf. And this being the FA Cup, you can watch all of the goals from the 4th round on the BBC Sport website and app. The highlights are on at 10:30 with Manish Bhasin tonight on BBC One. And at the moment, you'll see 2 goals from Manchester City. The clever free kick from De Bruyne and the header from Raheem Sterling from this match. And now we'll see Anthony Pilkington is going to come on to replace the front runner, Kenneth Zohore, who's not had much change out of Manchester City.
No, he's played a lone furrow up there, really has, and it's difficult to be critical of him because it's a tough ask what he's been asked to do today. But had 1 or 2 good positions, good opportunities, and I think he'll probably look back and maybe be a little bit disappointed at how it finished off.
Free kick then for and in fact he's straight into the action. Pilkington inside the penalty area after the free kick was fired in. It bounced down, and with the ball on the right side of the penalty area, Pilkington rather blazed it. Didn't threaten Bravo's goal, but straight into the action.
Sean Morrison, so I think that's the 5th free kick they put into the box. Just counting there, he's won every one of them from a Cardiff perspective. So that is certainly, if they can get the ball into the box, you know, he's head and shoulders above anybody from that Man City side, and that is a weapon that they might just have a bit of joy from. You never know.
Yep. I once remember seeing Anthony Pilkington score a winning goal against Manchester United in his Norwich days.
I was going to say for Norwich, yeah.
Yeah, he was a youngster at Manchester United, and here he is playing against Manchester City. Throwing 2 Cardiff halfway inside their own half. We've got almost exactly a quarter of the match to play, and Manchester City in control, looking to join Chelsea in tomorrow night's 5th round draw, and indeed Manchester United. The ball flicked on by Cardiff, who are just threatening perhaps to have a little spell in the game. Junior Hoylett now with the ball down, shoots goalwards, and that is just over the bar. Might even have flicked the top of the crossbar on the way over.
I think it hit the netting that's being held up by the stanchion at the back, but it's a good effort. They backed off far too much, Man City. You're thinking someone's got to shut him down, they don't, and in the end, okay, we're right behind it. It's not a shot that's going to beat the keeper, but it's certainly got a few oohs and ahs, didn't it?
It certainly did. Goal kick only. Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2. Yes, we were right behind it, as Jimmy Armfield would have said. And that's it, Steve. A free kick in the centre circle to Cardiff, just on Jimmy. we have dug out some old interviews that Jimmy did, a series of programmes back in I think it was in the 90s, and I mean, there will be a fascinating listen for anyone who wants to download them from the 5 Live website. First one's with Bobby Charlton.
Okay.
So Jimmy Armfield talking to Bobby Charlton, and the others that are coming with Jimmy Greaves, Jeff Hurst and Stanley Matthews. And
they'll be fun.
I'm going to go out of my way to have a listen to those. I'd recommend you do the same. Cardiff 2-0 down here, famously winners of the FA Cup against Arsenal back in 1927, against Manchester City, who've won the Cup 5 times. Aguero now on the right hand side, running into the full back position. He was up against Ekele Manga. He goes past him into the penalty area, twisting, turning. Aguero now to Sterling, back over the top to the right hand side to Aguero. Aguero pulls it back, he beats Ekele Manga and then drives it straight into the shins of Bennett, and it bounces behind for a corner.
I think they've clashed heads there. I think he's just flicked that ball over Manga. I think he might have just clashed heads with each other there, but
Aguero and Ekele Manga.
Yeah, you don't be one-on-one with him too many times, do you?
He just about stayed in that game, and they did. They did. As the ball bounced away, they actually, I can say it because they're okay, they rather comically banged heads together.
They did.
Stick tight. Here's De Bruyne, takes the corner, it's actually headed away by Bennett, clears the penalty area as Manchester City attack towards the goal to our right. Our position here, low downs, very much right of centre, so we've got a great position to see little Bernardo Silva playing it across into the centre circle. Walker pulls it back. Pep Guardiola is becoming rather animated. I think he senses that there is a hint of a Cardiff comeback.
Of resistance.
Yeah. The faint whiff.
Yes.
Of the potential of a Cardiff comeback. And they've got a free kick just inside their own half, just a couple of yards away from where Guardiola, shaven-headed, stalking around, hands in his pockets, staring down at the ground. Rolls takes the free kick in towards the edge of the area. It bounces, it's flicked on by Mendes-Lang into the penalty area, comes back to Mendes-Lang, who shoots, but it's blocked by Gundogan, and the ball actually spins. Gundogan, knowing that it's going out for a corner, can't keep it in. Cheers from the Cardiff fans in that corner of the ground. Cardiff's first corner of the match, 20 minutes to play.
We're getting a renaissance here from Cardiff, which is nice. A bit life in the old dog yet.
So it's a corner for Cardiff. Morrison's an obvious target. Here it is, high, deep towards the back post. Morrison gets his head to it, bounces back, stabs it across, shouts for handball. It deflected behind.
I think it's hit his hand.
Referee Mason says no, corner
hit
only.
Walker's hand. I think it's very, very close, and I don't think it's a penalty. I think you'll find this does actually hit Walker's hand here. Yeah, it's just a rebound off his hip onto his arm. So no penalty, definitely not.
And the ball stabbed at him from very close range.
Very close.
His arm was tucked into his body. Here's the corner for Cardiff. And it's Junior Hoylett who took it, and it was easily cleared away. Lifted over the top though by Mendes-Lang for Patterson to chase the bouncing ball, but so does Claudio Bravo, and he's got his gloves on and he's able to catch it high above the Cardiff City midfielder.
Yeah, neither of those balls into the box were what Neil Warnock would have wanted. One was much too low and pacey, and the other one is just a loopy ball played back in with no real quality. And even if, as you say, there's two areas there that two chances to put the ball in with a bit of quality that could have caused some sort of consternation in that Man City back four. If anything, that's where they do struggle a little bit, is against that physicality and that height, but no real quality there from Cardiff to test them.
Steve Claridge, FA Cup veteran, watching alongside us here on 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC, with considerably less than 20 minutes to play in this match. 6:06 on the way for domestic listeners, with Colin Murray and Ian Wright tonight. 08085 909 693. If you're a Newcastle supporter heading home after their defeat to Chelsea, here's Aguero for Manchester City. I'm tempted to say that I think we will have another goal in this game. Here's
Which way?
De Bruyne. Well, that's the point.
Oh,
whoever gets it will You know, it could be a grandstand finish, or it could be Manchester City snuffing it out, but it just has that feel. Here's Fernandinho now in the centre circle away from Rolls. He has space as he carries it forward, plays it past Morrison. De Bruyne on the left-hand side, rolls his foot over the ball, cuts inside, defender Richards shoots into a crowded penalty area, and it's blocked away by a Cardiff body back out to the far side, the left, for Manchester City for a throw.
Tell you what, I mean, it is evident how much they miss Sane, isn't it, already? That pace and the natural width and the balance that he gives them, even in this second half. And I know they're cruising, but he is such a threat. He really does. He gives them another dimension.
Well, Mendes-Lang does well on the right-hand side. Takes it away from Danilo. Now it's in the centre circle for Cardiff City with Marco Grujic on loan from Liverpool. It's been quite quiet in the game, actually, Grujic. Now Mendes-Lang, well, he went for a Kevin De Bruyne style step over,
yes,
and I'm afraid it didn't have the same result as some of the Belgians' efforts. A new club record of 32,339.
It's not bad, is it?
That is excellent.
Not bad at all.
The previous biggest crowd this season was just over 27,000 for the visit of another really well supported club, Leeds United. Here now, ball from the back for Sterling, and out comes goalkeeper Etheridge and is able to block it. Sterling, who was just getting away from Morrison, shot early, and the goalkeeper blocked it.
Yeah, he's done well there, Morrison, actually, because he has got the run on him, he's got a yard on him, but he's still, still puts that little bit of pressure that makes the difference between Sterling being able to open his right foot up and just pop it round the keeper, or having to take it on his left foot. And that's what the challenge from Morrison does. It forces Sterling onto his left foot, his weaker foot, gives him less option, less room to play with. In point of fact, he just kicks it straight at the keeper there, and he's able to make the save. He doesn't make that challenge, he can open himself up, just clip it past him. So well played, Sean Morrison there.
Yep, 15 minutes to play. Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2. Both goals scored in the first half. And Steve referring to Leroy Sané. If you weren't listening, Sané was caught by a bad challenge, actually, by Joe Bennett shortly before half-time. So highly significant to find out exactly what the extent of his injury is. And during the course of Ian Wright and Colin Murray with 606, we'll try and bring you the interviews with Pep Guardiola to answer that question, and whoever else we might be able to talk to. But Fernandinho, bouncing ball. Well, there's a little bit of spice in there after Ekele Manga came in with the challenge, and it's a yellow card for the Cardiff man, and he just leans over the Manchester City player, who is...
It's the sub.
Sergio Aguero.
It's Aguero, yeah.
Who initially it was De Bruyne and Ekele Manga, and Ekele Manga went in for the ball and just on his follow-through caught Aguero.
It's one of those where he's a little bit late, and by being late he catches Aguero, who's already shifted the ball away from him. So I wouldn't say it's any real malice, but it's not a particularly good-looking challenge.
No. So yellow card for the Cardiff City number 5, and Neil Warnock is going to take this opportunity now to make his next substitution, and Mendes-Lang is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Liam Feeney, the veteran wide man who is on loan from Blackburn Rovers to the end of the season. It's been extended, his loan, to the end of this season. 31 years old he is now. So Mendes-Lang, I mean, none of the Cardiff City front players, the wide men, Hoylett or Mendes-Lang, have really been able to make too much of an impact.
No, it's been a difficult afternoon for those players, but there has been one or two good opportunities, haven't there, that I think they might just slightly regret. I think they've been beaten by a better side, but there are moments in the game where they could have made more of them, let's put it that way, and maybe made it a little bit tighter and a little bit more uncomfortable for Man City.
Aguero, obviously, concern over his condition. has been able to walk off to the side of the pitch, and he now runs quite freely back onto the field.
I was going to say he'll be fine. That was just
again, as Jimmy Armfield would say, I think he'll live.
Yes.
Here is Jazz Richards on the right-hand side, up to the newly arrived Feeney. And then back to Richards, who plays it towards Pilkington, but he was firmly and strongly challenged. Now the ball on the left-hand side for Manchester City, with Aguero, who was quickly back into the action, but it bounced away from him through to goalkeeper Etheridge, who was able to clear.
He's done well, Morrison. Really well today. He's defended well. He's won everything in the air going forward.
Oh, and now Gundogan has been dispossessed, and there's heavy challenge from Fernandinho.
That's a booking.
On the halfway line on Grujic. He really came in with some force there, and I think you're right, Steve. I think that will be a yellow card.
A booking. No doubt about that. That's a booking.
The first Manchester City booking of the match for Fernandinho. Yes, out comes the yellow card.
And even Patterson has still gone at. They've been going at it from the first half.
Yeah. And
so is he booking?
I think he might be going to yellow card Patterson as well for just winding up Fernandinho. It's effectively for dissent, isn't it? No, he's put his card back in his pocket.
Yeah, no, I think did he just have it out?
Yes, he didn't show it.
Residually from the previous booking, yeah.
It was a sort of
he still hadn't
flat hands across each other, as if to say, cut it out.
Yeah, please stop talking to each other.
Yeah. 10 minutes to go. 2-0 Manchester City here in this FA Cup fourth round tie for a place in the last 16. The draw tomorrow night. There are currently 5 Premier League sides definitely through to the last 16. Here's Pilkington in the area on the right hand side, back onto his left foot, gives it to Rawls. Now the ball to Feeney on the right hand side. Feeney goes past his man brilliantly. Feeney lifts it across, and the header from Patterson, who is under pressure. Well, he was being challenged by his man Fernandinho, and Patterson it's been given as a goal kick, and Patterson clearly feels it was Fernandinho who got the touch. Actually, Company, wasn't it? It was Company who was in there with Patterson.
I think it looked like it was Patterson. Oh no, it's Patterson in the end. Yeah, it might have come off.
They got it right.
Yeah.
Goal kick, 2-0. Walker for Manchester City. Here's De Bruyne, and De Bruyne rolls it back into Otamendi. So we have less than 10 minutes to play now. 9 minutes to go. Then we'll wrap things up with Jonathan Overend, who's here with us on 5 Live. And then it will be Ian Wright alongside Colin Murray taking your calls on 08085 909 693. Manchester City with De Bruyne. De Bruyne curls the ball forward towards Sterling. That was beautifully played by De Bruyne. Sterling is forced further away, so gives it back to De Bruyne, who's near the halfway line on the far side, in front of that towering 2-tier stand on the opposite side of the ground. Bravo gets involved, the goalkeeper, all in yellow, to Otamendi. And again, Manchester City just conscious here of trying to see the game out, because there has been that simmering threat from Cardiff City over the course of the last 20 minutes. Been chances, a couple of opportunities. Bernardo Silva now flicks it. Aguero on the chase up against Morrison. Morrison stands up strongly, and the ball deflects out of play for what is given as a throw-in to Cardiff City. Aguero bounces the ball into the ground, but close enough to Morrison.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Surely.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
So it bounced for the Cardiff captain to take this throw. Bounces off the back of Walker and out of play for a throw-in 10 yards inside the Manchester City half. Just one or two people begin to head to the exits. The Manchester City staff, who are sitting next to us, almost on cue, all stand up at the same time and head off down to the dressing rooms. They had
half the stadium's left empty now.
Yes, they have a large staff, Manchester City. Here's the throw from Morrison. He does have a long throw. It is a weapon, but we've not really been able to see it today. Cleared away on the edge of the area, but now he has Feeney again on the right hand side, the substitute. He's been able to wriggle past the combination of De Bruyne and Danilo, but Danilo recovered, and the ball deflects out of play. De Bruyne's pass straight out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. Richards comes across, Jazz Richards, with 6.5 minutes to play. 2-0 Manchester City. Throw-in from out on the right-hand side that is going to be taken by Patterson. Morrison flicks it on, cleared away by Walker. Outstretched right foot on the edge of the penalty area, and then a right foot through the ball on the edge of the box from Walker again. Bounces to De Bruyne. De Bruyne has men either side of him, and he rolls it forward to Bernardo Silva, who's in space. This is dangerous. Bernardo Silva running through and shooting straight at Etheridge.
It's a great run from Kyle Walker. I'm not quite sure I'd be overly pleased with Bernardo Silva. They're not passing me the ball. If he doesn't decide to pass, he has to score. He goes and it's a far too nonchalant finish. It's easy-ozy, no real pace, and it's literally paid back straight into the keeper's arms there. So not the greatest bit of play we've seen from a Man City perspective there. Good run from Kyle Walker there. He just wants the ball playing to him.
Asking for a third goal for Manchester City there.
How do they get so many men forward so quickly there though, John? They get the second phase ball, the ball bounces, they've got 5 players who are going to pick the second phase up, and they just attack you.
2-0 to Manchester City, and it is the Premier League team who are in possession. Neil Warnock's going to make his final change, and it's going to be the Frenchman, midfielder Loic Damour, who's going to come on for the final minutes of this match. Here is Claudio Bravo again. Manchester City songs ringing out from one corner of the Cardiff City Stadium. Claudio Bravo. Kyle Walker wants it on the halfway line. Guardiola's body language suggests he wants City to play it quickly, and up it goes towards Gundogan. Now De Bruyne in the central third. Across it comes to Kyle Walker on the right hand side. Aguero's come out here to the right flank. Bennett's with him, goes back towards Walker, and then Aguero again moving away from Bennett, and then Aguero just shrugs off the challenge, takes it to the edge of the area. Bennett as well stands up, puts the challenge in, took the ball away from Sergio Aguero, and now Feeney has done well actually since he's come on, is away past Danilo, and Raheem Sterling of all people puts in a covering challenge to win the ball back for the Premier League side. De Bruyne, Feeney, De Bruyne sees him coming, so quickly gets rid of the ball.
That's the side that, you know, unless you come and watch them play, you just take for granted, you know, you don't understand and don't realise how hard they work. You know, even everyone's got to buy into it.
Claudio Bravo cuts the ball back, but brilliantly with 2 Cardiff City players there. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne gave Vincent Kompany a real challenge with his crossfield tap,
certainly did,
which Kompany immediately first touch on the volley back to the goalkeeper, and he trusted Claudio Bravo to be able to beat the 2 Cardiff men, which he did. And so Manchester City have the ball. Sterling now forward to Gundogan, through into a central position, shot from the angle from Danilo is saved, and it bounces out, and the follow-up is cleared over his own crossbar by Jazz Richards for a corner.
It's a wonderful move, and it's really intricate little bit of play. They open up that Cardiff defence, but he can't quite screw that shot round, can he, with his right foot? It's his weaker foot, and what he's trying to do is just help the ball on, but help it into a corner. He knows where he is, but he just can't quite get that execution.
Yeah, it's a very good save actually by Etheridge, we should say. Down to his right, that's stretched down with one hand to block the shot from Danilo, so it's still 2-0. And now we have Loic Damour, who takes the place of Joe Rawls. So Damour, who was signed by Neil Warnock last summer from the French second division, is on to play against the Stars of Manchester City. Corner for City into the near post, where it's headed out of play, and Bernardo Silva is going to take a second consecutive corner from the right hand side. Bernardo Silva to Gundogan. Gundogan now to Bernardo Silva. This is all at very close quarters, and Bennett and Hoylett trying to nip the ball back from them, which they do. It's in the quadrant and is just stabbed out of play by Junior Hoylett for a throw into Manchester City with 2 minutes to play, and Manchester City in no hurry to take this throw. Gundogan takes it. In fact, City are going to make a second change for them, and young Brahim Diaz, the teenager, I saw him start against Leicester City in the Carabao Cup before Christmas. Tiny little man, typical Manchester City, talented Spanish midfielder with all of the tricks and lots of skill, and he's going to take over from a similar player in Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I mean, that would be physically, that's something that teams will look at when you're trying to play against Man City, and vulnerabilities. You're right, they are a very small side.
Throw-in taken by Gundogan then on the right-hand side, and Bennett comes in and slides it out of play. And Manchester City are just pinning Cardiff City back in their own defensive third. And Gundogan takes this latest in a series of throws towards Aguero. Ekele Manga, I'm not sure, thought for a moment there it had gone out of play before he cleared it. And then De Bruyne is fouled just as Loic Damour was looking to run the ball away. And it's a free kick for Manchester City, halfway inside the Cardiff half. Gundogan just standing over the ball, gives it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne back to Gundogan, and with Damour closing him down, Walker, and Fernandinho actually goes back into his own half. We're in the 90th minute now. 6:06 to follow once we've wrapped things up here for 5 Live listeners on 08 085 909 693. Gundogan to Aguero now to Sterling, left side of the box. Sterling back to Aguero on his left foot, and he has blazed it more than halfway up the stand. Goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever we say, it's a really, really difficult finish when it's coming back to you on your weaker foot. A little bit of pace on it. I know he looks disappointed, but it's not an easy finish.
Yeah,
might have done better, mind you, having said that, looking at that, but
he was just trying to wrap his left foot around it. But 3 minutes of added time, and the ball bouncing out of play on the halfway line for a throw-in. So Cardiff just a couple of minutes away from exit from the FA Cup, when of course in the time-honoured fashion they will be left to concentrate on the league. But lots to play for Neil Warnock's side in the league, and I remember very well that great FA Cup run that his Sheffield United side went on, and I think he's felt aggrieved. Well, he's been talking about it this week, how he does indeed feel aggrieved at the way they went out to Arsenal at Old Trafford when Graham Poole was the referee. But here they have been beaten good and proper by Manchester City. Here is Hoylett jumping for the ball on the halfway line. Diaz into the action, and he's away. Oh, and he's caught by Bennett. I think that's going to be a second yellow card for Joe Bennett. Just beaten by the pace and the skill of Brahim Diaz. Second yellow card for Joe Bennett, and Cardiff will finish with 10 men.
Yeah, I think to be fair, the referee's not going to need a second invitation. He will have probably seen the challenge or been told about the challenge from the first half, and he didn't, as I say, he didn't take too long then to get that red card out.
And of course the knock-on from that is that Cardiff will be without Bennett for what is a big game for them away at Leeds United on Saturday.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah.
So it's a decent play, it wasn't a great challenge first half, but he's a good player, Joe Bennett, and they will miss him.
So it looks as though Damour is going to fill in at left back, and De Bruyne now, final seconds of this match. Manchester City nearly there. You can begin to write their name into tomorrow night's draw. Walker pumps it forward high, and it drops inside the penalty area, but will bounce through to goalkeeper Etheridge. So we'll have 4 replays the week after next, when we'll be able to bring you commentary on the Tuesday night and the Wednesday night of next week. Newport County will be going to Wembley. That'll be quite a night for them and their supporters. Here's Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling, 3 Welsh clubs reached the last 32 of the competition. And who'd have thought that of the 2 that are still standing, Newport County are one of them. Cardiff are heading out as rain now sweeps across the Cardiff City Stadium again. I must say, I think I've had a little touch of Rodney Parade throat this afternoon after the events of yesterday, but I'll have to speak no more because the final whistle goes and Manchester City have won it really comfortably with the first half goals that they scored through De Bruyne and Sterling, and it's handshakes all round. Cardiff City are out, Manchester City are through, and they're still on for the quadruple. Steve Claridge.
Yeah, never really looked on the upset. We needed a goal from Cardiff. There were one or two really, really good opportunities they didn't take advantage of, which no doubt you have to in games like this if you're going to give yourself a chance. And in the end, the right result, right team won, and I think a pretty comfortable afternoon stroke night for them.
Yes, not too many scares for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City as he marches onto the pitch to say well done to his men after Cardiff City 0, Manchester City 2.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Cardiff could hold on 10 men down, or 1 man down, 10 men on the pitch. 2-0, no goals in the second half. And that's it for the fourth round. It's it for the fourth round. The fifth round coming early February. In a couple of weeks' time. Okay, we'll get all of the fixtures, all the results from over the weekend and the ball numbers you need to listen out for. 7:20 tomorrow, the fifth round live draws on. So we'll do that as well for yourself. As we would normally do. Okay, we'll get reaction, stats, and the results from this weekend very, very shortly. But first, I'll play a couple of songs just to break the tension a little bit. Hey, yeah, okay, let's do it.
to the top of my charts. You see, baby, you done made it to the top of my charts. Baby, you done made it to the top of my charts. Baby, you done made it. She my favorite single, my jingle. The one who keeps me going when it's tough and when I'm feeling below on a zero. She helped me get my feelings right up. In this hell, she's an angel that's been sent through on a mission to deliver to me love. And everything I've been through has been me and you. From the smooth to the bumpy and the rough. Yeah, cause she original, so I love her. Cause everything I do is proper. Even though see your mom and dad keep on telling me not to bother. She already knows, so I love her. Cause everything I do is proper. And I'm just trying to let you know, baby, we'll be alright. Baby, you know if our love never lasts, still you're my number one love. I know that we've been through a lot in the past. Still you're my number one love. Baby, you done made it to the top of my charts. Baby, you done made it. We go never sing, my queen here by my side, and I'll be forever king. And I ain't tryna lie or pull no strings. Don't see no reason why we can't do our own thing. Oh, I know you wonder, am I just a one-hit wonder? Girl, I really want ya. Oh, give me one chance. I know you wonder, am I just a one-hit wonder? Girl, I really want ya. Oh, give me one chance to love you right. Baby, you know if our love never lasts, still you're my number one love. I know that we've been through a lot in the past. Still you're my number one love. Even if the moon don't align with the stars, still you're my number one love. Even if you move all our racing cars, still you're my number one. We never work out and you end up in another man's arms. Police come to take me and they put me in a car.
It's Fuse ODG. And to my chance, SJ Radio. Fourth round is now complete, people. It's done. It's done here. It's here. Has gone, and now it is finished. I know. I know, stop. Shut up.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.
Okay, FA Cup's fourth round come to a damning close after today's Chelsea taking out Newcastle 3 goals to nil. Also, Manchester City taking Cardiff out 2 goals to nil. There as well. The results that start from Friday then: Man City and Yeovil Town nil, Man United 4, Sheffield Wednesday 3, Reading 1. Then we have Saturday's fixtures: Liverpool 3, West Brom 3, Liverpool 2, West Brom 3, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newport 1, Wigan 2, West Ham 0, Southampton 1, Watford 0, Sheffield United 1, Preston North End 0, Notts County 1, Swansea 1, MK Dons 0, Coventry City 1, Millwall 2, Rochdale 2, Middlesbrough 0, Brighton 1, Hull City 2, Birmingham Forest 1, Huddersfield United, Huddersfield Town 1, Birmingham City 1, Preston North End 1, and Hull City, Leicester City 5. Early game today, Chelsea 3, Newcastle 0, and it just had it Cardiff 0, Manchester City was 2. The fifth round takes place tomorrow about 7:20. And these are the numbers that you need. For the fifth round. Okay, ball number 1, West Brom. 2 is Leicester City. Number 3 is Huddersfield or Birmingham. Of course, they've got the replay to come. Number 4, Notts County or Swansea. Another replay. Number 5 is Manchester United. Sheffield Wednesday is number 6. Number 7 is Man City. Number 8 is Coventry. Number 9 is Millwall or Rochdale going for a replay. 10 is Southampton. 11 Brighton. 12 Wigan. Hull City. 13. 14. So Wembley replay, Notts County, Newport County and Spurs. Chelsea is number 15 and Sheffield United is 16. The games are suggested to take place within the week contesting the 16th of September, February, Friday through to the Monday. The dates of the games will not be known yet after those couple of days after the draw. TV company to the BT. No. I say no more football now until after we take place, the 5th of February, next Monday. We have the brand new series of SJ Radio starting from 7 o'clock on Monday. Hope to join you then. Be nice to see you then. If not, I'm not bothered, to be fair to you. Okay, see you next week, next Monday from 7 o'clock, the brand new series of SJ Radio. I'll catch up with you then, guys. Ta-da.
SJ Radio's official FA Cup live, covering every game, every goal. Live, SJ Radio.